I was going to look at some of the comments that we've got here, starting with Cycle Troll. This is what I do, by the way, normally when I'm sitting down to do your questions. I read every single one of them, and then when I've read the question and made a note of it or whatever, then I like the comment, and that, thanks you for your participation, and it makes me know that I've answered it or dealt with it or whatever. So sorry, but I think these are an abomination. Talking about the Rdunae 6105. I think that they're fit to purpose for what they are. I wouldn't call them an abomination. They're doing an excellent job in terms of casework. Um, I haven't worn mine, not just because mine was defective, but I wouldn't call them an abomination. I would say that they're doing as equally great a job as Seiko is with their reproduction dials. Um, it's just, it's one of those things. I don't know why Seiko can't do the dial right. Oh wait, I forgot to go like this. Thank you. The Dog Barber. It's more cost effective to just buy a new movement for $30 and replace the entire movement and go about your day. LOL. Shame. 34s and 35s are great movements. I agree. I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. How did it make it through all that QC? And to me, I'm kind of jazzed about it. I mean, what a crazy error. And I'm going to service that movement. I'm not going to replace the movement. I'm going to service it. I have those parts, and I will do that. I think that's going to be cool. Sanjay Watch 2983. I have a Seiko Bullhead watch I want to sell. Well, you can send an email to me at kvw@kleinvintagewatchrepair.com with pictures, and we'll go from there. Yeah, it is. Oh, so this is talking about the Rdunae again. Slim 2429. Missing the reduction wheel is such a wild thing to have missing from the factory. Just so bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. It's bananas. I can't wait to rip that movement apart and see if the retaining clip is inside the movement or if it was just never there. Because the thing is, I never took the weight off that movement. I've never done anything to it. There's no way that part. Oh damn! Hang on a second. There's no way that part can come out on its own. It's held in place by the weight. The part is right here. It's this thing is the thing that's missing. And there's the little retaining clip that goes underneath it, so that has to be missing. And I know some of you are saying, wait a second, this is for a 7009. It's not for a 4R or whatever the heck it is. This is basically the base movement. 7005 is the base movement, but a 7009, it's just you have an added date 8. There it is. That's the piece that's missing, and I just need to. I have one. Put it in, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Talking about the inside of the case back of the Rdunae. Super minor detail, but the brushing inside the case back is a nice touch. Mine is just raw machining marks. I agree, it is a nice touch. And it shows a little bit of the quality. Their casework is good. Maybe more reason to be happy with the Heimdallr 6105 I just received this past weekend, LOL. Definitely a perplexing failure or omission. The little robotic fingers did not pick up the thing. And it just didn't work out. I don't know why, but it didn't. Let's see. I'm cold. Let's see. Oh, talking about the big wall clock, the new wall clock here. White veil. Oh heck, that's neat. Might have to get one for myself. I was wanting a nice looking wall clock, but hadn't really looked through any catalogs. I'd only seen a few desk clocks and the famous little yellow Seiko Marathon clock. They are famous. Those are cool. But this is a super awesome option. I'm amazed it's actually loomed and has a sweeping seconds hand. It's true. I'm still kind of taken aback that the rotating ring doesn't rotate, but it wouldn't make any sense for it to rotate because you'd have to be messing with the clock on the wall, which makes no sense. They make a spherical desk version of this. If you have, throw the link down there. I'd like to see it. Back to talking about the Rdunae. Rick Deckard Memories. Very nice callback to Blade Runner. Bad luck. No matter how good a factory is, weird QC issues will slip through once in a while. NH35 movements so cheap on Ali, they're basically disposable. Just replace the movement. From an economics and labor standpoint, I 100% agree. For me not wanting to do that, I mean, I was given the watch as an evaluation model. You'd think they would have looked at it to check that out. But in any case, I don't have any real money into it. So it makes perfect sense to me that I go through the trouble of servicing the movement of a watch that I got for free. So that in my world, in my brain, that's what makes sense, and that's what I'm going to do. We're going to bring it back. But I just don't like the dial. The movement was the last job on a Friday afternoon. They just wanted to get out of there. Yep. Used to say you got a Monday, Friday car when that happens. Quality control person dropped his or her pen at that moment. This movement was going by and bent down to grab it. Francis Palmer 9737. Yes, that is true. Master watch. U.S. Steel. These days, QC at this point should work, but apparently in much more expensive watches, it happens also. Yes, it does. Seiko's approach to QC and fine-tuning their stuff, it is really, I mean, I understand economies of scale, but sometimes I wonder. John Boy 8181. My Rdunae doesn't work either. It winds and runs fine, but the auto work won't wind it. I would love to see the inside of your watch and know if it has the same problem. Dr. Windsurf. I had a non-working movement from San Martin and they sent me a new movement. Maybe send your video to Rdunae and see what happens. I considered that, but I mean, it's sort of looking a gift horse in the mouth. They gave the watch to me as a review copy, as I said, so I would feel kind of like a heel to complain about it. I'm not going to look any gift horses in any mouths. Flint Westwood. Had a steel dive SD in 1970 for about a year. Has the NH35 movement no such issues? I would grant the notion that that's going to be true for the vast majority of them. It's just weird that it made it through not one, not two QCs, but even my own. I looked at that movement and I didn't notice that the wheel was missing. I'm just flabbergasted. I wonder if the clip is stuck to the bottom of the rotor. No, that clip, if it was anywhere, it's under here, right next to the escape wheel, and it would be bopping around in the gear train somewhere. I mean, potentially it could be stuck to the underneath of the train bridge with lubricant, but I'm going to be real curious to see if it's in there or not. Dennis Salg 1171. Just take it apart for fun, see what's missing. Oh, I'm gonna. That Rdunae dial is atrocious. I agree. I mean, look, it could be worse. I mean, the original fake 6105 dials were just awful, just awful. This is better, but it's still terrible. If it were me, I would find a genuine Seiko dial, adapt the dial feet, and make it a Franken model. That might be a waste of time and talent for you. No, time can never be wasted because I'm sure it'll learn a lot from it. And talent is, I don't know how much talent I've got. I got better at it because I just kept doing it. I had a brand new 7S26 where the hour and minute hands would not move. Only the second hand was moving. One day after watching too many of your videos, I ordered some tools and took it apart just for fun to see if I could do it. Turned out it was missing the center wheel, put it back together, then took it apart again and left it like that thinking one day I'll get a center wheel and fix it. It's been a few years. The experience is priceless though. Well, you know, I wouldn't get a 6105 dial and change the dial feet, but what I could do is put a 6105 or a 6309 movement in that case, because that case will fit. You can adapt. The only problem would be is that the stem wouldn't be right. Crap. Damn, I don't have a screw down crown that'll work for that. And there's no way to shake that stem. Damn, if it wasn't for that, I have 6105 dials and handsets. Not great ones, but I do have them. And I could have, if it wasn't for the stem issue, I can fit a 6000 and a 7000 series back, one to the other. You can do it. Crap, but the stem, that sinks me. Damn. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. Thank you for that. Oh, Mr. Solbrook. Two thoughts. All modern 6105 dials are a fail, including Seiko's, and the robot must have been on a smoke break when this movement came off the line. Yeah, no kidding. And I agree with you. Why can't anyone make a correct 6105 dial? The best ones I know of are Seikosis, and I actually wrote him, and I was like, "Hey, I really, I was like, how do I write this email to this guy saying, can you please make better dials without coming off like a complete dick?" But I wrote him and I'm like, these are do you ever have a plan to update your design? If you ever did, these are some things that I see as a watchsmith over here, that when I work with these a lot. And he was like, well, yeah, thank you for that. And, and we'll definitely correct it and make new ones. I don't know that that actually happened. Not that I would expect him to jump when I said anything, but boy, whoever comes up with a good, correct 6105 dial where they sell them in variants that have crown at 4 and crown at 345 for 6000 series and 7000 series movements. Yeah, 4 different dial positions. But if they did that, oh, it'd be awesome. That's fantastic. Yes, 6105 on an NH35 movement. It's not a 606105, it's an homage, Chinese copy if you prefer, from Rdunae. Yes. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. I apologize. I can't read Cyrillic, and I don't understand what I'm assuming is probably Russian. But if you want to put that down there in English, then I'm happy to talk about that, whatever that is. Somebody asking about a Seiko 2205. I bought a junk 2205 0760 planning to restore it. Does it have a chapter ring or the second marker part of the dial? I'm not sure if mine just had a really faded dial. These just have a printed ring around the dial, if memory serves. I can, yes, it's a printed, they do not have a separate chapter ring. I've already have the replacement movement available, which looks exactly like the one you're showing from this one on the donor watch. Thanks. I'm sure that they don't have. Darn it! I will have to go and check. So I'm not actually 100% sure if my light works. Let's see what we got in here. I don't know if this is an original dial or if it's one of the reproductions. I haven't looked at this watch in a long time. I think that's a repop dial in hands. And it looks like the chapter ring is a separate piece that is inside sitting on top of the dial. This is the beautiful, exquisite ladies dive watch from the 70s with its gorgeous 6105 style, 6105 style crown. Now this would be just a masterful piece. I mean, if they made this exact watch in a man's size, wouldn't that be cool? But anyway, though that chapter ring, as you'll see, is actually printed on the dial. I actually have an NOS handset and dial for one of these. I have to say I like the high chrome polish better than the frosted white, but, pretty neat. Yep, this is the 6000 that the gentleman's had forever that went through the service center twice. I, too, am looking forward to the service and restoration of this vintage piece. Should be fun. I didn't see anything moisture related, so it should be okay. Scubaroo 100. What is the size of the click ball bearing under the bezel? I lost one. I can only replace by buying thousands of each size until I get it right. Get sort of a fat tip ballpoint pen. They make bigger ones and try that. Um, they do also, click balls are sold on eBay, but I don't know that they're the right size. Pens are a lot cheaper. This is about the Seiko 5246 chronometer. Cool chronometer, cyclotrol. Can't wait to see the inside. You need both. I bet it's going to be nice. Going to be pretty. Dr. T's on. Again, 5246. Numbers a really good one on the time grapher. I may not know how to service it, but I've seen so many of my videos. My apologies. Last service is unknown. The owner says that that when she was looking, she actually changed the crystal and she looked inside the case and saw servicing marks, but they didn't mean anything. And they didn't have any meaning that she could divine. And I often find that's the case. The meanings, the marks don't really convey any information. Yeah, you have been on the hunt for one of these. A bunch of other watches. Beautiful watch. I do watch sourcing. If you ever want to look for something, I can poke around for you. But yeah, they're really cool. They're really cool watch. We're talking about the 6105. Hellboy, 1976. I have a modern reissue, I'm assuming Seiko, and the Rdunae, and while the Seiko is very nicely built, it doesn't look right at all. The Rdunae is way closer and spends more time on my wrist. Seiko could have another turtle hit on their hands with a proper modern Willard if they didn't get greedy and stupid about it as they have. Yeah, absolutely agree. It's less greedy than sort of mystifying. I don't understand it. If they just did a one-to-one recreation of the 6105, hell, even use the 4R movement. That's fine. Who cares? Put a 4R in it, but do a really good job on the dial in the hands and the casework I wouldn't have a fear about, and just put it out at a reasonable price point. They'd sell 1 billion of them. Unbelievable how well it went. I absolutely agree. I mean, they're a fantastic movement, and they went off to be the 5246 was resurrected wholesale by Seiko in the 1990s as the 4S15. They're a real quality movement. Yeah, it's a nice looking watch. Yeah, the owner did decide that it was the right idea to service simply because we noticed with the hacking is not working and the hand winding was really hard. Both of those things intersect in the keyless works, so something's funky with the keyless works. So we need to go in there. Hello, Spencer. I sent you out an email to have a watch repair. I received back a computer-generated message, said I must get on a list. Went back to your website and looked for the list and couldn't find it. It should be a sign-in if you go to servicing on the website, and then you should be able to sign up. You should be able to get onto the list there. And the way I'm doing it now is I go to that list. Instead of a notification to everybody, I'm going from the top people in line, and just when I have a slot, the next person in line gets an email. So it's, that's the way the process is happening now. DG 7002, 7009, such great watches. What's the best strap to wear as I find the rubber one a bit stiff on my wrist? I don't know. You can get 22 millimeter woven cloth straps, and those look pretty cool. You could try putting it on a one-piece NATO or Zulu strap. I like two-piece military style straps myself. Either of that would work just fine. Okay, got a few more questions here. Super Cruise, Spencer, comment for a viewer question in a mail call 244 regarding mainspring winders and use of the Bergeon winders. I used the same K and D winders you use for mainsprings for years, but graduated, oh dear, I have to graduate, to the Bergeon set this past year. I primarily use the number 7 mainspring drum with number 6 right-hand red arbor winding handle for 6 series Seikos. With the Bergeon, I find all you need to do once you have the mainspring wound into the drum is to wind the handle backwards to take tension off the spring and continue to wind in the counterclockwise motion and gently lift the arbor handle while winding in the reverse direction, and the arbor and handle will simply lift out after several turns. My K&D winder does the same thing too. I just don't ever want to pull that out, so I always secure that with a blade. You could use a set of tweezers for extra security to keep the mainspring in place while winding the handle in reverse and gently lifting out, but I've not found the need to do that. Hope this helps somebody. One of these days I'm gonna figure this out. Jedi Rockstar 68. Thanks for doing this. I have a 4060 17 joule. This is a Bellmatic. Was wondering, do you think it's worth buying a broken 27 joule to use the parts? Can I use parts from the 27 joule in my 17 joule, which is in almost mint condition, and service thanks to your guidance? The two movements, 27 and 17, are exactly the same. You can switch all the joules from the 27 over to the 17. All the parts exchange back and forth. There's no difference. But I don't know that it's worth getting a broken 27 joule one for parts. You get one that's running. But yeah, I mean, get one like, you know what? If you want to have a spare case, look for gold-plated Bellmatics. The ones with gold finishing, they looked older, sooner, and they were worn less, and the movements tend to be lower hours. That's my recommendation. Brian Walsh 8972. I had ordered Rdunae last week and then discovered all the Homage Willard videos. It's arriving tomorrow, and your videos really put a smile on my face. Nice work. Thank you. Haters gonna hate. Peace. That is true. Haters are going to hate. Look at me. No beard. Here's my Japanese mask. That's upstairs now. Let's see. Oh, hey, Mr. Garrett. Thanks again for all your excellent support on this watch. This is the emergency servicing watch. You're very, very welcome. I'm glad I was able to help. And here is this comment turning me on about the Gene Hackman. There's a photo on the internet of the late great Gene Hackman wearing one of these at a fan event. Another layer of cool added to an already sub-zero watch. As I discuss in my segment, I don't think he's wearing a 7548. I think he's wearing a 5H powered diver. Anyway, we'll talk about that in just a bit, if I haven't already. And that looks like I've gotten all the questions. Okay. And that, I think, look at that, I've come to the end of the questions. So at the end of that, let's just think about Gene Hackman, and thank you so much for watching.